Hello everyone, my name is Lauren Dentler and this is my presentation on the Assure model as it applies to my copyright law presentation. I tailored my presentation to middle school students working in a collaborative environment. This presentation is specifically focused on 8th grade students using 8th grade TEKS, specifically the technology and instruction TEKS. Students should have previous knowledge about technology and basic research skills according to the TEKS. A pretest or review quiz could be used to determine the student's knowledge before the beginning of the presentation. So one way I really like to do this is through resources like Kahoot or doing a Google form just to kind of gather data before we start, so that way we kind of have a better idea of where we're approaching things from. To accommodate different learners, I would use any required accommodations, including ASL and captioning for deaf or hard of hearing students, along with visual narration for blind or low vision students, or any other academic accommodations that will best support the students I am working with. All right, so for our next slide, we have state standards and objectives. For TEK 8.1, I decided to use the creative and innovation technique. These are specifically technology TEKS. For this, the student uses creative thinking and innovative processes to construct knowledge, generate new ideas, and create products. The student is expected to create, present, and publish original works as a means of personal or group expression. The objective I have created for this assignment is I can identify and evaluate what may be considered fair use when working with a copyrighted resource on an educational assignment. So, because copyright law is very specific about original works being used in an original work, I want the students to create an original work of their own. And so they will create an original work within the specified criteria that I will give them through the rubric. Select strategies and resources. Students will be asked to complete a project. They will find 3 pieces of media that they would like to use to demonstrate an abstract concept. They must use 2 copyrighted works and 1 work that is considered royalty-free or part of the Creative Commons. This will give the students an example of what they should be looking for and to play around with looking for different things outside of the classroom. So within my library, I would like the students to get more comfortable using copyright and learning how to evaluate what is appropriate within copyright. Students can use any form of media they would like for their project, poster, presentation, or video, but they have to appropriately credit and note the copyrighted resources that were used. So for this next one, utilize resources. There are the 5 P's that we use to utilize our resources. The first one is prepare or preview the resources. Before class, I will review the various resources the students will be using to make their presentations. This can be making examples using the resources I provide. Prepare the resources. I will make a list of all the places they can look to find out information about copyrighted work, such as the Copyright Office. Prepare the environment. I will also prepare the classroom for the students and provide resources necessary for the assignment. So things like cameras, posters, computers for them to do the assignment, iPads, anything they need to do the assignment, they will be provided within the library or within my classroom. Prepare the learners. So using the copyright presentation, I will prepare the learners by giving them an idea of what they are allowed to use and what they should be looking for. I will also provide a rubric for the students so they can assess and evaluate their own projects to determine if they meet the appropriate criteria. For the last one, provide the learning experience. I believe in hands-on learning and trial and error. Although I will be there to support them the entire time, I want them to do the best they can on their own. So like I said, I believe in hands-on projects, and this is a great example of letting them learn and then play around with what I've taught them. So this is very hands-on. It's a place where making mistakes is okay, and it's a safe way to make mistakes. But at the end of the day, they're still learning about copyright law, which is the important part. Require learner participation. Students will be given the rubric to help them determine whether or not they are meeting the appropriate criteria for the project. Students will have individual checks where we will look at different aspects so they can ask questions or get extra support if necessary. This time will also allow for the students to gain differentiated support and resources if necessary. Evaluate and revise. The students will be measured using the rubric that is provided. The students will complete self-checks to assess their own learning along the way. I will evaluate the class as a whole using their projects to determine if the standard and objective was met. Thank you so much for listening.